Let me ask you this. As you may know, some 97% of scientists who have written articles for peer-reviewed journals have concluded that climate change is real, it is caused by human activity, and it is already causing devastating problems in our country and around the world. Do you believe that climate change is caused by the emission, by carbon emissions, by human activity?
Senator, as I indicated, you weren't in here during my opening statement, but as I indicated in my opening statement, the climate is changing, and the human activity contributes to that in some manner.
In some manner?
Yes, sir.
97% of the scientists who wrote articles in peer-reviewed journals believe that human activity is the fundamental reason we are seeing climate change. You disagree with that?
Yeah, old Bernie's way out here. He's done what Obama's done, picked up some nonsense from the literature written by John Cook of the Skeptical Science blog site Infamy. Got together with all his fellow activists in Queensland and did a fraudulent poll of the climate literature. Now, his subsequent papers have been refused publication, but his effort was smashed by real climate scientists, David Legates, Soon, and so on. And the co-author was Lord Monckton, and they found that the papers that Cook et al. Studied actually totaled only 0.3% agreement with the standard consensus, not 97.1%. So a slight discrepancy there. Now, other papers have also been published that are critical of this nonsense. Professor Richard Toll, for example, published a paper. You can see that. Look it up if you want. Now, I've got a couple of very interesting polls. One here called the Consensus Project, which was a poll of the meteorologists in America. And it showed that 52% agreement there with the consensus. Now, this one here, the Climate Science Survey, done by the Netherlands Environmental Assessment Agency, is a very big and wide-ranging survey. A lot of the people involved in the poll are just computer modelers, climate modelers, but in any way, it's a very big survey. And it includes over 1,800 international scientists studying various aspects of climate change, including impacts, physics, mitigation, and so on. Now, this is probably the most recent very large poll, and if you look at question 1A, what fraction of global warming since the mid-20th century can be attributed to human-induced increases in greenhouse gas concentrations? When you add up the people over 50%, you get 65.9%. Now, just hang on a second. That is not the consensus as put forward by the IPCC in AR5. The consensus is more than 50% of the warming since the mid-20th century, in other words, 1950. And, in addition, the confidence level. The confidence level to qualify under the IPCC AR5 has to be extremely likely. That is over 95%. So they re-polled the ones that answered over 50% and asked them, what confidence level would you ascribe to your estimate that anthropogenic greenhouse gas contribution is more than 50%? And those that answered 95% confidence level, that is extremely likely or greater, are 65.2%. These two here, add them up. Okay. So to get the agreement with the consensus, the IPCC's consensus in AR5, you multiply 65.9 by 65.2%, and you get 42.9%. That is a consensus. And here's something even stranger about this poll. Guess who published it? Look at that little name there. Yes, Little Cookie. Little Cookie published this. 42.9% consensus. Totally contradicting his 97.1% consensus from a year before. But it doesn't say that. Doesn't say it anyway. They don't say, oh, the consensus has now been reduced from 97.1 to 42.9. They don't mention that. Look it up. Check it. Calculate it. Tell me where I've gone wrong.